third question would be, how would the family and friends, the self-development, and the work-life balance be different during different stages of our lives? So basically, when we grow up, we only have to balance between family and friends and self-development. I would mainly say this lies within family and friends as much, because when we're young, we try to mimic others around us. We try to get incorporated in the groups. We try to be part of it. We don't try to be an outsider. I don't think anybody really likes to be an outsider unless they're like a bit wired differently, I would say. So we don't spend a lot of alone time, like literally we don't sit alone a lot. We don't self-development a lot. We just mimic a lot of those around us. And I think a lot of not a lot, but some people do stick a bit too long in that phase. They don't really start self-development early enough, or don't start questioning enough their own actions and behavior early enough. I think this is even more problematic in the next generation, I would say. But I think every generation probably says it's for the next generation. So what am I to say? Maybe it's just normal evolution. I don't know. But there is no really concept of greater purpose or usage of productive hours. As a child, you're just doing things that are new and exciting, and you're just going on instinct and trying to be as happy as you can in that moment, I think. And that's a very genuine thing to live by, or like something that you can admire, but it's not really realistic, I would say. Once we grow older, we all realize pretty quickly that there's way more baggage to life than we like to believe as a child, and all the very big dreams gets toned down or sized down a bit. We don't really dream as big as we like to do, or take as big of steps as we would try to take. It's not really in our best interest anymore to be like that. We have to get serious and realistic with life, and don't try to go too fast, too quickly. But when we get to school, we first get encountered with the currency of time. We start using our own time to invest, and this in ourselves, but also in something greater than ourselves. We don't always know where we will end up, and usually we go about recommendations of other people. We think, oh, they might have done this, or they know me and they would say this would be the best thing, and we try to take that path. We try to experiment. We don't always follow it, but usually it's the first thing we do. We listen to others around us and what they say would be best for us, or would be in our best interest. So we don't really know our fair steps for ourselves, because we haven't really self-developed. We don't know what we actually like to do. We just follow a path and are like, this I kind of like these things, I don't like these things, and then we deviate a bit and we start to take another direction with our studies or whatever, and it may be more in line with what we expect to do as we grow old. But still, we don't really have any idea of what we're gonna do when we grow old, how it's gonna look like. For example, I studied biochemistry for 6 years, I don't know, 6 or 7, without really knowing. Like, I could have known, but not fully realizing what I was going to be when I actually finished with my degree. So when I got done, I was like, maybe it kind of isn't the real thing, or the thing I was looking for in life, or wanted to spend all my time on. So usually we start to follow this path. This path has been paved and cleared by many before us, many relatives or people that have the same interest or the same thoughts as you have. And this may have led to some sense of success or accomplishment for them, or like something that is defined by society. So if you're a doctor, you will have a lot of money, and this will be prestige, and it's a kind of a societal stamp that they give, and okay, this guy really made it. He did the most difficult degrees, and he studied the longest, and he got the hardest work, and in some sense it's all true, but in another sense it's just one of many things that you can do in life. Like it's not the top for you. Like for me, it was never one of the top things I wanted to be. It was nice if I could be a doctor, but I know it was not something I would be like, oh, I really like fixing those people every day in and out. I really like this communication and this interaction with people, and I just knew this was not something for me. So why would it be at the top of my ideals or my societal idea what the perfect thing is to do? And I know I went a bit off track here, but this is the school and the whole system is a very heavy investment for young people, just to get this certificate that quote unquote proves that you have certain competence and abilities to do certain stuff and be able to rationally think about certain things. I don't know, it has value, but it doesn't have value in the end. Like now that I have it, this certificate, I don't really use it. Like it's just a reference for, okay, this guy is not a total dimp, what the fuck. He knows some things and he was able to do some kind of degree, so he must have some competence, but you don't really know until you speak with that person or until that person is in front of you and you have a conversation with them, or they try to tell you or enlighten you about something. So here in this stage of our lives, this balance heavily shifts towards the productive hours, and especially studying and putting in work that doesn't really has any real return. It's not something at the end of your 6 years that you're like, okay, I have 10,000 euros in my bank account, or I have this job lined up for me there. It's all still part of who you are, what you're gonna be willing to undertake while you're studying and doing that. So it doesn't really feel like developing skills, but more like a networking or social thing that you should do to be able to pass in this group or be able to become this group, whatever. But there's no intrinsic real value in the start except from getting the knowledge. But if you don't even use the knowledge, in my case, like what did I had from value for those 6 years? So it's kind of difficult to put any real returns in there or paint anything that could be, yeah, for everybody the same. So we still remain unclear. We are still studying. We think we're going in the direction we want to go. We think we're getting there. And maybe for some people it is, but I guess for most people we graduate and it's like, okay, I still have no fucking clue where I want to go. I still don't know if this is the perfect job or the perfect knowledge thing I want to think about, or that I want to do these things for the rest of my life. We don't know. Nobody knows. So we all just do this next thing that society says. So what's the next thing? We get out of schools, our training wheels fall off, and now we're supposed to get better, earn more money. So yeah, what is the next thing we are doing or we should do? So I guess most of us fall a few times. We start pedaling and we don't know where we're going. We fall off and we get up straight and we go somewhere else, and eventually we start to get a hold of ourselves. We start to be able to reliably go through life and be like, okay, this is comfortable living. I make my own money, I do my own laundry, I get my own food, and now what is the next task in my life? And it feels like work was just one part of another stage in my life that society says you have to take, and doesn't really give the fulfillment that I was hoping it could give, or the happiness it was supposed to be giving. I don't know. It's there are no like real things I would say to you, Vanna, but there are some kind of societal pressures for you to be the best of yourself, or to aim for the highest form of yourself, and in the end it doesn't really say anything about what you will feel and will achieve later on in life. There's no really the paths they've cleared or that are laid before us are just going where these persons are, and that's not really like a path. That's, I don't know, just feels like a road that gets you faster to somewhere, but it's not really, it can never be your real destination. When is the last time that you're like on the ring from Antwerp and you're like, okay, this is my destination, the ring here, like I am supposed to be here. Unless somebody breaks down or something, it's never a destination. It's always a place to somewhere else. So what is this somewhere else? Where is this place, this destination, or the end goal for me? I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody can know. And that seems to be what might prevail in our working lives. I don't know. I'm just 2 years working and a bit, but we're still on the highway. You know, we have not taken an exit yet. We're still going towards something that I don't know where it lays. But we'll see about that. That's why I think it is a bad guess to say like, oh, we should go 3 ways. But on the other side, 33 hours of your time, it's still a lot, but it can be put more in perspective. Okay, this does not take up the whole week, or this is not who I am, who I truly am. I'm not this work-life person that mainly works. No, I work 1/3 of my free time, and that's not even all. I still have other things to do and other achievements to get. So I feel like we are in a constant state of searching for the one route or the one best thing or the one destination we should go, or like it feels always like we're looking for the next exit or the next thing we should go for. But I think looking for a place that can give us fulfillment, success, and happiness is something that is reinforced by us, by societies, or by ourselves. Maybe like we try to think that they all lie within one place, but I believe in eventually these 3 things, fulfillment, success, and happiness, are, you can never find them in the same place. They're not something, another destination that you're like, okay, I have arrived and now I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, and I have success. Like, these are 3 things that we have to find in different areas of our lives. And that is why I think the 3-way split is something that can be, it should not be taken literally, but it's something like relative. Like, if I think if you want to achieve or get close to these 3 things, you have to look for them in their respective fields. Like, maybe fulfillment can be found in self-development, and success can be found in productive hours, when you can find happiness with family and friends. There's not one area that has all 3 of them. Maybe you find 2 of them in one area. I don't know, but I feel like we should optimize more looking in other areas, or like, at least for myself, I know like I said before, I've overestimated or like I invested too much time in quote unquote self-development, that I did not think to do any other things or develop any other areas of my life to be able to be happy and stuff. So it's kind of a no-brainer maybe for some people, but for me it was like, okay, I cannot just do one thing and be all these 3 things in the same time. I cannot expect to have a work that makes me happy and fulfills my life and also be successful in it. It's kind of unrealistic, I think. So yeah, maybe the 3-way split is not that far-fetched of an idea, you know? Maybe it's something that can be thought of when making decisions, and we realize that in some parts of our lives we lean more towards one area, but that we always keep ground of the center of the, okay, we want to be equally spread out this time and have equal investments of this time in these 3 areas, or like relative equally. But yeah, it's just me. Maybe it's all horseshit and whatever, but I feel like that's better than what society expects us to do. Like, society believes that we should be the most productive selves, or most productive persons of ourselves, that we make the most money for them and for the country, and that we pay the highest taxes and whatever. Like, if you make more money, you just pay more taxes. Like, obviously there is like a very extremist, or how you say it, like it's like something you cannot really achieve, because once you get close, the slope gets really high, so it's difficult to really achieve one thing, and it's way more known, or like I think way more easy to accomplish a few, like these three things, like a bit of them or a good portion of them in each three of them, without completely throwing off this balance, or without throwing off this balance, I would say.